So, we're going to be doing cream and tomato soup. So you're going to get your pan ready, get your pan hot, get a little bit of your oil in there. This is not very much oil you guys need for this operation. You need enough oil that coats the bottom of the pan. So when you're doing any kind of sauteing action, sweating or anything, this right here, that oil helps transfer that heat energy into our food product. And it also keeps it lubricated, so it's going to move around and allows it to brown much more consistently better. So that's the reason we always oil in a pan. Never cook with a dry pan. Unless you're doing duck breast. And that's perfectly okay. Or bacon. It's perfectly okay. Because both of those will have a large amount of fat at the end, and that'll make it work. But besides that, vegetables, oil. Chicken breast, oil. Steaks, oil.
Are we trying to brown this, or?
No, we're not going to be browning. We're going to be doing what's called sweating.
Okay.
We're going to be sweating our celery and our onions. So we're not looking for much browning. Perfect sweating, you shouldn't have any browning. But what we're looking for is we're going to be looking for our celery and our onions to become translucent. That was, I just did a half a large onion and 2 stalks of celery. So same thing that's on your tomato sauce recipe. I have mine on medium heat. You know, if you're doing this in a restaurant operation and you're doing like 5 things at once, you can do this on a low heat. Now we're not really wanting too much browning. We can have a little bit, since our finished product is going to be just a big red batch of tomato soup. But say if I was doing like potato soup, would I want any browning on my sweaty vegetables? 0, because I want to have a nice white soup. So when we're sweating them, you're not letting it brown, and you're going to be waiting until our onions become translucent. So we can pull them out now. You can see our celery's turned into a brighter green. Our onions are very shiny and bright, but we haven't got that translucent look. You should actually swim on the onions, you can literally see through it. Here's the cheat. It's going to, all that steam that's coming off of our celery and our onions is going to go right back onto it, and it's going to make them translucent very quickly. It's going to start releasing all their flavors into the pot. And again, this is the reason we do, like, soups are super great, because all this flavor we're building on the bottom of our pan, it's all in the pot. Anything that we do with a soup is usually all in the same pot. So any of the flavors we build up, any of the ingredients we put in, everything that we do with soup, all goes in the same pot, so you build this large pot of flavor. That's the reason soups are so delicious. Alright, our vegetables are sweated, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to add tomato paste. And now, with our tomato sauce, we added oregano, because we wanted that marinara, classical Italian flavor. For the tomato soup, we don't want that. We want a tomato soup, we want tomato flavor. So we're just going to do salt. And pepper. This is where I want you guys to start really seasoning at the beginning of your dishes. We kind of did with our soups, not our soups. We kind of did it with our sauces, but with our soups, season a lot right now because you really want that salt and pepper incorporated at the very beginning of your dish. Because this way, if you season at the end of your soup, the flavor is not going to be as great. But if you do it now, it's really going to help with the rest of your dish. Now I'm going to crank my heat up a little bit more because I want to brown that tomato paste. All right, I want to get that tomato paste caramelized on the bottom. That's really going to develop my flavor. That tomato paste has a lot of sugars and it has a lot of starch to it, so it's going to caramelize. All those carbohydrates are going to start sticking to the bottom and they're going to make little brown bits. And if we want to go into classical terms, this is what's called a pinçage. There you go. You see how that tomato paste is caramelizing on the bottom, starting to become brown?
A little bit.
And it's starting to become a little black. That's why I'm going to hit it with my white wine. And that acid is going to bring it up, and we should have a nice, clear bottom. There we go. See? How it was all browned up? It come right off. You see? You guys go. Gotta get a better hold on it. You see where it was all brown?
Yep.
Now it's all That's all clean.
Well, this makes me feel.
And now I'm going to add my 2 quarts of tomato. And again, we use the canned tomato because we get really nice, fresh flavor because it's nice, vine ripened tomatoes that go into canned tomatoes. Now, if we weren't in a chicken stock, I'd be using a little bit of chicken stock at this step. I'm just going to add some more water in there. We don't want sauce consistency. We want soup consistency. We want it where it's still nice and runny, but still thick. Because you don't want to eat. You don't want to eat water, but you don't want to. But you don't want to be chewing through your soup. Scrape the edges. Make sure it doesn't burn. Now, with the electric burners, you don't have to worry about that too much. But when you start working in a situation where you're using gas burners and you've got maybe your soup going here, and you've got like another soup going here, you got 2 sauces over here, you've got water for blanching vegetables off over here. You're going to have to watch out for your sides because your sides can burn. And that's if you get yourself in a restaurant situation. So, I'm going to turn it down to a nice simmer. So like for you guys, it's like 1 and 2. For me, I can see I got the dial to help me out. So I'm going to turn it nice low flame. And then I'm going to let that simmer for about 20 or so odd minutes, and then we're going to puree it with cream. So you all get to this stage right here. Alright, so we got to finish our soup. So first thing off, let's get our singular bay leaf out. Now when you're doing big batches of stuff and you put bay leaves in there, usually you put more than just 1, you're putting like 7 or 8, maybe even 10. So always got to keep a count of how many you have in there, so you got to go back in there. You got to go play search. You got play search and rescue and get all those bay leaves out. Don't puree your bay leaves into your food. So then we're going to go ahead and we're going to pour it in there. Be careful. Being gentle with it and just slowly pour it in there. So now we have enough room for we can puree it, and there's going to be enough room for us to add our cream at the end. So I'm going to get all the big vegetables out in my pan. Get all that scraped out.
I've never had tomato soup before.
Well, you're like this. Puree it. So, with soup, we want to have it nice and thin, just like our sauce. We want to make sure it gets gets pureed all the way. So you can double check it, make sure it's thin. You shouldn't see any big chunks or anything going on. With our sauce, we could have been a little chunkier because it's a marinara sauce. Usually that's gonna be for pasta, so chunky is okay. But with our soup, we want a nice, thin soup. Everything pureed together. And then I'm gonna taste it. So I'm gonna finish it. We're gonna finish seasoning here. And it's easy to really do it in the blender because it just mixes it for you. Hint, hint.
I don't get it.
That means I don't want to take it out, put it in my thing, and have to mix it. There we go. Now, right now, I just have tomato soup. This is what's coming out of your Campbell's can of tomato soup right here. It's just pureed or highly seasoned tomatoes, or tomato paste, or white wine. All our ingredients all just pureed together. Tomato soup. Huh? Yeah, you can taste it right now. You guys can all taste it.
I want to taste
This is just tomato soup.
before and after.
Now, what were you saying? The reason we add the cream?
To make it creamy.
Yeah, to make it creamy and smooth. Now, how much acid do you think tomatoes have?
A lot.
A lot.
Good amount.
So, acid and fat counterbalance each other out. So if it's too fatty, you add acid. If it's too acidy, you add fat.
Right.
So, with this, there's usually no set amount of cream you have to add. So, usually just add a little bit.
Do you play it by taste? Or
I play
eye?
by taste, play by eye. So usually, if you guys want something, it's about a 1/4 cup or a little bit more. But what's going to happen is it's going to turn it into a paler color. But it's going to give us that creaminess to it. There we go.
Is it good? You didn't taste it.
Well, I know it's seasoned from last time, so.
It's like pumpkin soup. It does look like pumpkin soup.
There you go.
Which one are you supposed to taste?
The one out of the bowl. So we're just going to put the bowl there.
Either.